Okay, there we go. And let's make sure restream. Okay. I wish there's a way to resync the video and restream, but that's okay, I guess. Hey Rook, just typing to make sure that the restream is setting the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and be okay with letting it not be not be synced up with the actual video coming out. I can still watch. I got 5 viewers. Thank you, 5 viewers. Um, let's actually see how many are on. We have 3 on YouTube, and we have 2 on Rumble. So welcome, YouTubers and rumblers. Okay, so we're working on the layout tool. Okay, this is cool. Let's look at the new. I don't know. I don't like the way that the zoom works. I guess it's kind of the way it works in the editor. Like, let's go in the editor here and let's do the zoom out on that. So if I am on the right and I zoom out, it's going to zoom out towards it. If I'm on the left, it's going to zoom towards it. Zooms in a way, it zooms back toward. Um, when I do this, it zooms away. When you zoom out, it zooms toward the. I mean, that's the way it works, but I kind of don't like the way it works for some reason. Zooming in or out. Honestly, I think I know what the problem is. The problem is zooming should not be biased towards the mouse at all. So let's see something here. Um, uh, 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 before this day, September 10th, 2025. Before we tackle moving stuff or whatever, I want to revisit the Zoom for a second. Uh, I realize this is sort of the way it works in the editor, but I expect it to just zoom from the center of the screen. For instance, if I have a panel in the direct center of the screen, I don't think it should matter. If I have a panel, I don't think it should matter where the mouse is in relation to the center point. should always be centered on the center and not move depending on mouse position. Choose the mouse pointer depending on the you just update the zooms directly and leave the positions. So instead of this pseudo, yeah, anchors to the on the viewport center, no position as you can offset math. Well, give me a moment to review the code first, and then we'll do that. I don't know if it's giving me a moment or if it's just chugging. It looks like it's just chugging. Okay. So, hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, so let me review the code. It's going to be in the camera. Update min zoom. Okay, that's the minimum zoom. That's fine. Zoom at mouse. Okay. Okay, so this is the relevant. Here's the relevant code. Just look at it and tell me you analyze it before continuing. Um, just write a new zoom centered function and tell me where to call it, and I will keep both, but probably just use the zoom centered version for now. There we go. Getting the AI to actually do some coding a little bit. Now it's chugging. So this is going to take a few minutes, I guess. It'll just be the function, and then it'll tell me where to call it, and then probably how to call it too. So both zoom at mouse. I don't know if I need to do a hotkey. No, we're gonna copy this code first. I'm gonna put it in there, and Control V, plus, okay, and then zoom centered. Where is it at? Okay, mouse up, It actually looks like 1 plus and 1 minus. It's still like it is. So let's go ahead and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Control C. Go ahead and do that. But we're gonna just call zoom centered. Okay. And we're gonna do the same thing. Actually, we'll do the same thing here. It's just minus, right? So Control C, Control V, make this a minus, oop, minus, and we'll comment this out. Now I'm going to see if it works like I expect it to work. So let's see if it works like I expect it to work. See, and it doesn't move around. It only moves based on the viewport center. This is how I expect it to work, which is kind of funny because the editor, I didn't realize the editor doesn't do this, but yes, this works. Okay, that works. Awesome. That's a good use of AI, I would think. It's just helping me along with my tool. Actually, could get it to probably to use the whole tool, but or to create the whole tool, but this is fine the way it is. So awesome, good. You know, I don't need that right now. This is now acting how I expect it. So whenever I want it to zoom on a position, I just pan over to the position where it's centered on the screen. No viewport. And it just works like it's supposed to. Hmm. Um, I guess I don't really need to worry about that until I get there. Right now, the only way to load up right now, the only way it saves is when I exit, and loads is when I start it up. So I don't have a problem with that yet. Yep. Now we're going back to, back to panel interaction. I'm still unsure of how to do this. I'll need single selection movement, and then of course multi with drag select. I guess we could start with the single. Still, what do you think is the best way to handle what's behind and what's in front, and how to bring the selected to the front. It made a joke. Got it. Let's zoom in. Ha. On a single selection, we went first. Best practices for panel selection. Hit testing. On a mouse click, look through your room panels. Collect any that overlap the mouse position. If multiple overlap, choose one with the highest Z index. When you select a panel, bump the Z index to the highest among all panels plus 1. This guarantees it comes to the front. Normalize later. If Z values get huge, then you can rescale them, but usually isn't necessary. Tracking selection. Keep a variable in your tool. Selected panel, node 2D equals null. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if I should do that. If I should do it node 2D, or if I should just do the whole, what I call the layout room. Mouse press, assign the panel. On drag, update its position with mouse delta. On release, clear or keep selected depending on UX choice. Simple flow for single selection. Input mouse button left if event is pressed. Var clicked, get topmost panel at event position. If clicked, selected panel equals clicked if dragging is dragging true. Var highest Z equals 0, panel room container get children, highest Z equals max. Select panel, highest Z plus 1. The index, else stop dragging is dragging. Elif event is input event mouse motion and is dragging the selected panel. Select the panel position, event relative, camera zoom. Function, get topmost panel at. Top panel is node 2D, top Z equals negative infinity. For minus infinity, I don't know, whatever. For panel in room container, I forget what the colon equals means. For panel in room container, get children. If get node global rect panel has point mouse position. The panel dot Z index is greater than top Z equals panel Z index. Top panel equals panel. Return top panel. This gives you click, pick the frontmost panel at that spot, drag, move it smoothly, respecting zoom. Selection automatically bumps it visually on top. Later, extending to box selection just means storing a list of selected panels. Extending to box selection just means storing a list of selected panels instead of a single one. I could actually set it up like that, where it could be like an array or something. We'll get it working first before doing highlighting, etc. But I do want to say that if doing multiple panels amounts do the same thing. We could make it an array or a dictionary of just one for the one at a time. That way, later it will be a bit easier to add multiple panels to it. As a order handling the list of panels, then single selection is just a special case where the list has one element. Later box selection just fills the list with more. Append clicked is dragging. See, right. Highlighting visuals, easy to iterate over selected panels. We'll keep it strict. Shift clicking can be done later. Probably when we add drag selection. For multi-selection, we just have more. No need to change logic. On click detection, when you click, check which panel is under the mouse. Loop from front to back. You get topmost one. Clear select the panels, push panel to it, bring to front. Yes. The panels. I already have set up. So yes, but our instead of direct panels like directly node 2Ds, I actually have a class called layout room, which let me look at what the layout room entails first. Let's go ahead and close this. The zoom works fine like I want it to. Let's go to layout room. Room data contains a room. Okay. I do have layout doors, but do I have... Am I using layout doors? Layout door. I don't know if I'm using layout doors. I don't think I am. We call it layout doors. Get door data. Door data append. Return door data. Okay, let's see. Layout doors equals new door. Okay, we do have a color, and we're actually okay. So layout door, what's in the layout door? It's just the color. It's just a color and a name. Okay. Color and a name. For every actual door in the actual room data, I create a layout door, which is a new room.add child layout door. That's funny. That's a node 2D, but I don't actually do anything with it. I don't think. Okay. Last zoom level. What? Why is last zoom level layout room? Is that something that I'd started? I think it is. There's no errors there. Something I don't need, right? Okay. So, all right. Line thickness. Let's see if line thickness is in here too, because I don't think this handles the lines at all either. Um, oh, interesting, because I guess let's do search find files thickness multi-line 2D. That's its own deal. Layout tool and just layout room. So honestly, because I guess I'm not visually representing doors, am I? Um, it's kind of interesting. The layout door doesn't actually have anything, and it's not going to have anything, I guess. Hmm. Okay, well, what's funny is, okay, so I guess the idea was later on I might want a visual representation of the doors on the room panel, and I'm not really doing that right now because right now, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Um. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. Let's go back here. Um. Probably yes. But first, I wanted to mention that the panels are essentially wanted to mention that my panels are actually just okay. The panels don't exist by themselves. They're created and attached to the to a layout room instance. The layout room class basically only contains a link to the main scene as a node, and class and has the room data as a class variable type room. That is the actual room itself, which contains just we have contains things like name, ID, description, etc. Wanted to mention my layout room class, which extends a node 2D, then in the function creates the panels, creates the panel and everything in it and attaches it to the layout room. If that makes sense. I can repaste the code if that will help anything. Let's see what we got here. Layout room instance is node 2D that owns its own panel node and children, labels, icons, etc. And the node 2D itself is what you attach to the main room container. Yes. Yes, yes. Unless you want me to see the details of restore the panel size or the children, because for hit testing and movement, you'll just work with the layout room node itself. So on the single panel selection input event, you do something like input, mouse button left, if event pressed, select the panels clear, bar clicked equals get topmost room at event position. If clicked, select the panels, append, clicked. Okay, it's dragging. We just loop over at layout rooms. In room container, do a get node global rect room for each, and pick the one with the highest Z index. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning, sort of. Probably use what you put in here, but first I need to know I should probably assign a z index at creation time, correct? Makes the topmost panel easier and predictable. Otherwise, if multiple panels are the same, you might get inconsistent behavior when doing hit tests. Here's a clean approach. In your layout tool, have a class level variable by current height z equals 0. Okay. Create layout room, right? Add child. Assign z index higher than the existing room. Current highest z equals plus equals 1. Room z index equals current highest z. Increment current highest z and assign it to the selected panel, right? Okay. That's right. No two panels share the same z index. Hit test are topmost. Creation, hit testing, selection, dragging, all using the z index system. Now I want to actually do this step by step. Even though I mostly just want it to work, I like to kind of understand what's going on. Okay, so 0 is a good base index. I heard it can go into the negative numbers. Is there a reason I shouldn't start all the way at the bottom? Or if 0 is the way to start, what makes it better? The important thing about here's the breakdown. Is an integer and layers are drawn in increasing order. Higher numbers appear on top. Starting at 0 is simple, predictable, gives you room to use negative numbers later if you want background layers behind all rooms. It's easy to reason about 0 equals bottommost default layer. You can use negatives, downsides for use case. If you start a negative number like negative 100, you'll always be incrementing up to bring a panel to the front. That's fine, but it's just a bit messier mentally. Any future feature assumes the lowest room is 0 would need to handle negative numbers. Why positive integers are easier for dynamic tool layout. You can increment each time. Bringing a panel to the front is just another increment. No risk of accidentally overlapping with background layers, which could be negative. Keeps everything simple and avoids accidental off-screen logic. Okay. Okay, just a moment now. Um, what's the highest Z order? We go, we not, and do. I thought it was like 4,000 or something, but maybe. So in theory, practically speaking, you're never gonna hit that limit. Okay, one more thing. I've got. Wait just a moment. I want to look something up. I'll be right back. Not that it matters to it. Okay, so let's go to layout tool and let's go to, I don't know if I have the index in here at all. See? It's match, okay. All right, so let's go to add room to layout tool. Creates the room. Let's go to add room to layout tool. Add child set owner. That room.layout tool equals self. Okay. How come? Oh, interesting. I think we're doing doubles or something. When you press. Oh, wait a second though. What is setup visuals called? Okay, let's do something here. Search, find the files. Oh, yeah. Search, find in files. It's already up there. Fine. New room at setup visuals. That's when you. Oh, so when I actually create. Oh, interesting. So when I call create from JSON on a layout room, yeah, this is like a special case, right? So room.create from JSON. Now the regular program, the room manager actually will create the room when. So that's an interesting thought too. What's up here? Load room. So whenever you load room, it creates a new room. In the game though, that's different. But it calls on the JSON. Oh, interesting. Create from JSON and the layout tool. Create JSON. Okay. So it creates the room. It bases the room data on the. It does just like the actual room manager does. So it creates it. Okay. All right. Um. Okay, so when I call it will call it loads up the room data into the room data uh, class variable from JSON and load. There we go. Room dot create from JSON. Creates the layout doors. These just contain a name and a color so that I can draw the lines and have it appear in the scene. Appear as a scene node. Okay. When I call for JSON, and then calls setup visuals, which basically creates the panel, the name, description, text, etc. Is this a clean way to handle it, or should setup visuals be called after the fact or externally? I might have to paste the source. Loads the raw room data. It also creates layout doors. Loads for lines, connection points, and then it calls setup visuals internally, which generates the panel labels. After create from JSON, you don't have to remember call another setup function separately. That reduces the chance of errors. Now, before I read through the rest of that, let me go to layout tool, select visuals, layout room, create. Oh, I see. Okay, so there's the thing there. All right. Okay, before I do anything, all right. Pros of calling atomic initialization. The room is fully initialized as soon as created from JSON. If you're removing pieces for layout tool, you can just loop over JSON files, create all rooms without worrying about missing visuals. All logic for flow for how layout room looks, behaves, contained inside the class. Situation you might call it externally. Sometimes you want to create a layout room without visuals for testing or purely data-driven operations. The visuals depend on something that isn't available yet at load time, like camera state. If you don't have that situation yet, there's no need to separate. You can always refactor later. Okay. I will probably do that, which is why I was going over the script. Okay. Okay, just making sure nobody is chatting, which apparently they're not. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, current IC plus equals 1. Panel Z index equals current IC. That way, whether you're loading from JSON or creating new room, logic centralized. Okay. Setup visuals is a layout room function. So current highest Z would probably be a layout tool class variable. However, I can figure that out in just a moment. Going back to setup visuals, I actually call it directly when you add a room layout room to the scene tree. You add a new room in the editor via a plugin button. So it calls a creation function that uses default values, but then calls setup visuals after externally. Should I perhaps move that call to the create function as well? Creating new room via plugin. The plugin calls create these default values called setup visuals externally. You have two different patterns for essentially the same thing. That's fine for now, but it's easy to forget the external call later. Best is moving it inside the creation consistency, fully initialized immediately after creation, no matter how it's created, less chance for errors. Because setup visuals is forgotten. Centralized logic. Later, you can change setup visuals both loaded and your rooms automatically reflect that change. KVAT, make sure setup visuals doesn't depend on something that isn't ready yet, like parent node references, camera, or Z index counter. Parent node references. No, there is no parent node references. Camera, Z. Okay. Now just a moment here. Got it. I'll wait. I mean, it doesn't have to wait because it's just words, right? Just a thing where it's not technically waiting. It's not like it's a person. Like you told a person, he said, "I want to do this," and then you kind of left him hanging because it picks up and remembers where it left off and stuff. So let's go to layout room. Let's go to create. There's a create function. Oh, it might be create. Is there a problem with the creation function being static? It should be fine, correct? Room is an instance. Okay, I think to try to access self inside a static function. Okay. All right, so let's go room setup visuals. Okay. And I just put that semicolon because I'm going to start doing that in some of these things here. Okay, that's fine, and fine. Okay, save it. Okay, now let's go to layout tool, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this, and we're going to save that, and then we're just going to go to the editor here because that's where we're creating stuff at, and this is fine. All I want to do is I want to just make sure that this is working. I'm not even going to save it or anything. Save room data. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go to output first, and let's clear that. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're just gonna add. Okay. Okay. It seems to work fine. Great. I like that. That's good. Reload save scene. Okay, that's fine. Okay. There we go. It's probably better this way anyways too. I have to think about something to do with the, and also, well, okay. I mostly like doing a far zoom out just so that so I can go like where I want to basically. In other words, I can go down here really quickly and then I can go back down here, see? Okay, so that seems to work. Okay. Okay, seems to work fine. Now we'll start with the Z index stuff. Now layout room is a node 2D, so I can assign Z there directly, correct? Okay. Okay. Right. So I'll do that in the creation right after create from JSON call and even the create call. Okay, give me a few minutes to do this. Might be all I can do today as I will need to quit in about 10 minutes. I know it didn't do a whole lot on the on the code, but it's just I have to kind of go through this stuff and prep stuff and get stuff ready. So let's just go ahead and close that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of what it said. Layout tool. I guess, I don't know. I guess I'll just put it at the top here. I'm starting to think, uh, okay, so back in and probably still with C, C++, I'm not sure about C sharp. C sharp, I think you can create variables anywhere. But C plus and C and C plus plus, you had to define them, declare them. You had to declare your variables first, and then define them or whatever, or use them. So everything had to be at the top, and then all your functions that used them would be at the bottom, right? Or at least, anyways, that's the old way, right? Um, and these newer languages, you don't have to do that, and here you don't have to do that. So I'm trying to start to create them right where they're used. In fact, I think in Code Complete, like I have an older version of Code Complete, and it mentions creating variables like where you use them or close to where you use them as um, being a thing, instead of having them all in like one location. You have to go back and forth and stuff. I think it was Code Complete that told me that, and it's an older version, so it's like, um, you know, I don't even know if C sharp was a thing when this edition came out, the edition that I have. So, but I'm starting to do that, but I can't really do that with this one in particular because it's going to be on the creation function, and then also um, maybe load all rooms. I mean, I could put it near load all rooms, I guess. I'll just put it at the top anyways. I think that's all right. Okay, so we're gonna do var current highest z index 0. So okay, let's start putting semicolons. Actually, it's okay to put semicolons in something like this because what was I saying? Oh, because other languages do that. Not a lot of them don't have an not have an end of line deal. Lua might not. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Does Lua have uh, end of statement deals, or does it rely on? I don't think it relies on indentation though, like Python does. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. Current IZ index. Okay. All right. So find load all rooms. Actually, I could have looked at it down there. It's probably in there easier to. Okay, load all rooms here. Okay. So create from JSON, if room, right? And I'm actually going to go ahead and I'll set. I guess I can set the Z index here. Room index equals current IC index +1. Okay, current IC index equals 1. Right? You guys do a plus equals here, and I mean, I don't mean you watching. I just mean you guys as in redot/Godot, right? Plus equals. Oh, that's right. It doesn't have a plus plus. Like, it doesn't have a single incremental operator. It's the same one. You just used a 1 as a number, which I guess is fine. Okay. So I have our current highest Z index equals 0 after create room JSON I put room.z index equals current highest z index plus plus 1. Current highest z index plus equals 1. That is correct. Is that correct? Is that correct? Yes, exactly. Update. You could do it slightly more concise. Current highest z index plus equals 1. Okay. You did this way above, which is why I did it that way. However, I would probably do it this way. Increment first, then um, okay. Okay, I probably would have done it that way anyway. It's just the way you wrote it above. Okay, also I could assign it first and then increment it and not assign it via +1 so that the first is 0. How come you have it assign the first one as 1 versus 0? It's probably versus 0. I'm not sure if that's how you spell versus. Mostly a matter of preference. Either works fine. Assigning the first room avoids using 0, which sometimes people reserve for base layer or background. It's mostly stylistic. Assigning 0 to the first room and then incrementing after is perfectly valid and more natural in some cases because 0 is the default z index anyway for node 2Ds. So your approach is clean, predictable. Starts with the first room 0. Later rooms will just increment from there. No functional difference. It's whether you want to reserve 0 from something else or not. Um, uh, uh, mm, mm, uh, I think I will increment first. So I think I like starting with 1 better after thinking it through. It's just, like I said, it's a personal preference, so I think I'll do that. Except what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this, like this, and then I'm just going to set it directly. I'm not going to increment it. So okay, and then copy, and then let's go to create layout room. Okay, and then this is what we do after creation. Actually, let's do something here. New room doesn't do anything, right? It just creates, right? So, semicolon, 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 semicolon. Okay. Let's do this. New room. And Bob's your uncle. Okay. So, oh, new room. Okay. All right. There you go. So, that being the case, reload save scene. Okay. Let's go to the 2D thing here. And for the most part, that's pretty normal. Okay. And that's it. Kind of does that anyways. It kind of overlaps it. So in all honesty, I don't really need to like check it because there's nothing really that I can check anyways. Right now. So that means all the Z. Okay, so everything's there. Okay. So now it's even after a new room add, and it seems to work fine. So I guess I'll call it a day, and we'll come back tomorrow, and we'll start clicking and dragging. You can jump straight into selecting and dragging rooms without stacking order. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll pick up with a click and drag direction. Thank you. It's always nice to be polite, even though it's just a program. Anyways, so I want to say thank you. I noticed how I'm dropped down to 3. You know, I have 5 people viewing in my earlier one, and then I had 4 here for a while, and then now it's dropped down to 3. So maybe not as many people as I thought are interested in the coding, or maybe it's just because I start mumbling or something. You know, because with the first one, when I'm talking about the story part and what I'm supposed to do, I usually can speak that out pretty well. I'm telling the story. I'm telling you why I'm doing things. When I'm programming, coding gets kind of dry. I'm looking in here. I'm kind of going, maybe I should do this. Should I do this? And I was mostly talking to ChatGPT, so I guess that's why. Anyways, thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, and we'll try to get some more of that story stuff done. I'll get that one part down, and then I'll see if I can. Um, I'll try getting the process down fast on the next new story beat, which will be probably. I think it's just Hebert. Either Hebert going into Fairy God College, or maybe we're dealing with Sir William right after, because he actually goes into Wizard U as well. He actually rams through the front door because he's a unicorn and he can do that. Um, and honestly, I'll have to figure out something that doesn't break a logic there too. It's I guess okay. So I guess the thing would be Hubert should be able to get into Wizard U by literally cracking open the front door. I mean, if he could get something strong enough to do it, he can't use magic, but he could do that. He can't open a portal or teleport in there or whatever. So he'd have to physically find a way in, and that's what Sir William does. So maybe there's a logic that unicorns are actually magical, not just animals, and their horns can do something magic related. Maybe. Anyways, that's for tomorrow, I guess. So thanks. And looks like we dissolved because I'm ending here. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Thank you for watching part 2, and I'll see you tomorrow.